Today on the MWHS Wildcat News. Show choir puts on their premiere show. The orchestra performs at Ralston Arena for the All-Millard event. A junior talks about his martial arts journey. Our reporters talk to teachers about what they love about public schools. And finally, a PSA about how to drive safely during winter. This and more on the MWHS Wildcat News.
Welcome back, Wildcats, to the MWHS Wildcat News. Today is January 31st, and I'm your host, Caitlin Willard.
And I'm Edison Geiler. We do have a shorter broadcast this week, but we have a great package of stories. Before we do start, however, some of our staff recorded a very special event. Jackie Tevis Butler, a social studies teacher and the varsity girls soccer coach, won the MWHS Nebraska Girls Soccer Coach of the Year, an award given out to the best coach of girls soccer in the state. Congratulations to Butler on this achievement, and good luck on the upcoming soccer season.
Our first story comes from Show Choir's 2020 premiere. All three of WIG, Uptown Girls, and Scouts put on a show for audiences during the evening of Monday, January 13th. The event, which kicks off the Show Choir season, drew in a big audience, almost filling the entire auditorium.
Members of the program talked with both of our online editors, Natalie Eljamal and Jasmine Hermosillo Padilla, about their preparation for the performance.
On January 13th, all three show choir groups, Scats, Uptown Girls, and WIG, performed at their annual premiere.
Premiere is to get us in front of people to perform, to get a feel of it for this year before we start competing and before we perform at our own competition.
This performance requires months of practice and choreography to ensure smooth performance before the start of competition season.
And we started meeting once and twice a week the first week of school, and then we learned our music until fall break. And then fall break, we started having our choreographers come in and teach the dances. And then we had, 7 hours worth of rehearsal for each group, starting then until now, to learn the whole entire thing.
The performance started off with a JV girls and boys group, Swing Cats. The theme of their performance was to march to the beat of their own drum. Then Uptown Girls performed, with their theme being the goddess of earth and the hunt to survival. Finally, the WIG show was inspired by a love story set in Paris.
First I cut off their heads and I pull out seven of my wheels.
Some students were able to prove their talents by performing a solo, which they auditioned for.
So my solo part is in Swing Cats, the JV prep group. I'm stronger now. The ballad solo is just kind of about finding yourself and doing it on your own, because the whole show is kind of just about it's about conforming. So at the end of the day, you're being yourself.
Their first competition is February 8th, and thanks to the premiere, they were able to get a feel for performing in front of an audience and see what changes need to be made. This has been Natalie Eljamal and Jasmine Hermosillo Padilla with the MWHS Wildcat News.
Thank you, Natalie and Jasmine.
All of the choirs hosted the Music Lives competition this past Saturday, with over 30 groups performing. We'll have a package on that shortly, but in the meantime, we'll visit Ralston Arena, where on Monday, January 27th, the All-Millard Orchestra event took place. All-Millard high schools and middle schools played their instruments for one another, in total over 600 musicians, in exhibition performances.
Our news director, Olivia Oath, and staff reporter, Emma Baker, went down to Ralston to cover the event.
Bows were flying and strings were singing at the annual All-Millard Orchestra concert on Monday, January 27th. 8th grade musicians joined the high school ensembles of Millard to fill Ralston Arena with around 600 student players and an adoring audience.
I'd say that the coolest part of it for me is being able to see all the really good, talented players that we have from all the different schools. Because I see those schools that feed into me pretty well, and I see the kids that I teach, but I don't get to see what they do at some of the other middle schools.
coordination of the concert being primarily led by Russell Middle School's director Gene Diamond and Deb Martinez of Millard North High School. The program, which was a labor of love since last summer, finally came to life. During school on Monday, the musicians visited Ralston Arena for a couple hours of rehearsal before the big night.
So earlier in the day, we came here, and as our grade and our group, we would practice and go through all 4 of the songs that we played today. So that was a lot of fun to kind of escape from the school environment and come to like an actual place where we could play with a bunch of people.
While fun and invigorating, the players and directors do not take the opportunity to perform on such a grand scale for granted.
I think it's important because not every district has an orchestra program to begin with. Most schools only have a band and a choir. Having an orchestra is very unique, so seeing how big our orchestra is and how many people it encompasses is just like, it makes an impact.
As they sat in awe watching the musicians, the audience realized how impressive it was for players of all levels to come together and play masterfully with such a short period of time to rehearse.
I think the favorite part I have is probably the end, when the entire ensemble comes together. So when they get the middle school and high school to all do one song together, I think it's kind of exciting.
All Millard was a huge success this year. Although the players came from numerous age and skill levels, everyone's talent was able to mesh perfectly without skipping a beat. Be on the lookout for Millard West's next orchestra concert to hear them for yourself. For the MWHS Wildcat News, this has been Emma Baker and Olivia Oath.
Congratulations to the orchestra on their work so far this year, and if you haven't seen a performance of theirs, definitely check it out.
Next up is at Omaha Blue Waves Martial Arts, a dojo over on Industrial Road. Junior Eric Wu has been with the dojo since he was little, progressing through its curriculum. Now a second-degree black belt, Wu has started to mentor other students working on earning higher-level belts.
Staff reporter Dana Summers and opinions editor Michelle Zhang visited the dojo last week to talk with Wu about his new experiences in teaching classes.
Yep. Okay. Ready? Okay.
Meet Junior Eric Wu, who has spent the last 13 years of his life dedicated to Taekwondo.
I'm a second-degree black belt, so we start off from white, and then as you progress, you keep going. So throughout classes, sometimes like instructors will come pre-test you, and then each belt comes with new responsibilities. We have practices Monday through Thursday, and then we have some on Saturdays, but I come 3 days a week, when it's typically for 2 hours. Throughout classes we do different things, like we do forms, we do sparring, do like different special things, like where it comes to self-defense or something like that. We do weapons too, which I think is pretty cool.
Eric's experience in Taekwondo has allowed him to be a mentor to his other classmates.
He's very hardworking. He definitely knows what he's doing, and he likes to learn a lot. And I look up to him. He's like a mentor. He does lots of things to improve himself, and that makes me think, oh, maybe I should do that too. And he is a good teacher. When he does something wrong, he's not mean about it. He's very energetic, open, a good sparrer, a good teacher, classmate, friend.
Apart from learning alongside other students, Eric also teaches classes of his own.
When I first started teaching, I was really shy. I sucked at it. But as you keep teaching, you get more confident in yourself. And then my motto is, when you teach, you learn.
Although Eric has had a strong leadership role, he still has people to guide him through his own personal journey.
When I first met Eric, he was 4 years old, and he was just this little guy, and he was very shy. And as he started to get a little bit older, when he hit about 5 years old, everything that you gave him to do, he would roll his eyes at you. But he always worked really hard and always tried really hard, and he's improved a lot over the years. Like, he's an amazing martial artist now. When he first started, he would just try to go through the motions. So at first, you know, as with a lot of little kids, it's really hard to get kids engaged and why you need to do it differently. So he always wanted to know the why. And I think that's part of the reason why he's such a good martial artist today, is because he wanted to know the why. So he asked the questions, he got the extra information. So not only is he a great martial artist, but he's also a great teacher because of that.
Overall, Eric's time and dedication to Taekwondo has allowed him to make great improvement. This has been Dana Summers and Michelle Zhang with the MWHS Wildcat News.
Wednesday this week was I Heart Public School Days, a statewide celebration of public schools.
Features editor Logan Berggren and staff reporter Jenna Reynolds talked with some of our faculty about what public schools means to them.
Hi, I'm Logan Berggren.
And I'm Jenna Reynolds. And today, Wednesday, January 29th, is Public Schools Day.
We're going to be going around to Millard West staff and asking them why they appreciate public schools.
I love public schools because of the multitude of opportunities that they provide for all students and all children to succeed, and the amazing experiences that they provide.
Well, I love teaching in general, and just been grateful to be teaching in Millard. My entire teaching career started at Millard North, headed over to Millard West, and so everything I do is, I started out bleeding blue over at Millard North, and now it's all green, baby. So I love public schools. Everything I do is for kids here in public schools, so I love it. So I really love this day where we get to celebrate public education and how it's so valuable and how I get to interact every day with my students. I just love it.
I love public schools because of the diversity it offers. So all students are different and all teachers are different.
I love public schools because, they help our kids, they teach them, and try to do their best.
I love public schools because of the academic and extracurricular opportunities that it provides to our students.
I love public schools because we get to teach all students, and there's no bigger determining factor in your success in life than your access to a good quality public education.
So as you know, Mr. Royers and myself, we both graduated from Millard West. So one of the reasons we love public schools is because our high school experience was so awesome. And one thing I loved about my high school experience was that I had so many different things I could do at this public school. I could do theater and literary magazine and student council and show choir and band, and all of those clubs and organizations were top-notch, like nationally ranked ensembles.
And I just had really amazing teachers. I had Mr. Berzina, Mr. Hayes, Mr. Mercer, and I just thought if I can do the same things that they did for me and try and help students, then that's, I can't think of a better way to spend my life than doing that.
Absolutely. Now, as teachers, our favorite teachers are our colleagues, and we're getting to continue to learn from them in this setting and figure out how we can help other public school students have the same kinds of opportunities we had at Millard West High School. That's why we love public schools.
Absolutely.
It's been getting a little more difficult to drive to school every day. With Nebraska getting really into the winter weather season, it's essential to know how to drive safely when the roads are slick.
Staff reporters Jorner Bakar and Connor Robb bring you this PSA about staying safe while driving during poor weather.
Driving during the winter season can be a very problematic task to accomplish. In this short video, we'll be going over some crucial tips to ensure safe travels this winter.
Immediately start your car and leave it running 10 to 15 minutes before leaving to defrost any ice and clear up any fogging on your windows.
Before stepping on the gas, make sure to have cleared all snow and ice from your windows with the use of a scraper.
Make sure that your tires are properly equipped for the winter and are fully inflated before driving.
Try to keep your gas tank full at all times during the winter and not below the half full line.
Increase your following distance between vehicles to prevent possible collisions when braking.
If you are driving on slick roads, you need to be extremely cautious and drive below the posted speed limits or slower than usual. Pre-treated roads don't eliminate slick spots.
Parking uphill can be dangerous. Prevent your car from sliding down by turning your wheels towards the curb and use the emergency brake.
Altogether, these safety tips will allow for a smoother travel experience and make you a much more responsible driver as you go about this winter.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of the MWHS Wildcat News.
For all of our content, you can visit our Instagram at mwhs.catalyst and visit our Twitter at mwhscatalyst. For all of the content we've produced this year and in previous years, you can visit our website at www.millardwestcatalyst.com. See you later, Wildcats!